got loyalty, got royalty inside my DNA. Quarter piece, got war and peace inside my DNA. I got power, poison, pain, and joy inside my DNA. I got hustle, though ambition, flow inside my DNA. I was born like this and sworn like this, immaculate conception. I transform like this, perform like this, wish out you a new weapon. I don't contemplate, I meditate, then off your head. This that put the kids to bed. This that I got realness. I just kill cause it's in my DNA. I got millions, I got riches building in my DNA. I got dark, I got evil that rot inside my DNA. I got off, I got troublesome heart inside my DNA. Lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise high as the listening skies. Let it resound loud as the roaring sea. Sing a song full of the faith that the dark past has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us. Facing the rising sun of a new day begun. Let us march on till victory is won.
Excuses.
Excuses are
Cool.
Being incompetent.
Used to build.
Monuments of nothingness
And bridges
that lead to nowhere.
And those
who
Make frequent
uses of excuses
already
accomplish
anything
else.
Thank you. Well, we are fast approaching the moment when you say your last goodbye as a student of Be Smart. I just want to take a moment to make some acknowledgments to all who have contributed to making this moment possible. First, I would like to acknowledge our invited guests, our parents, our guardians, friends, and family who have been in the corner of our graduates for the 4 years in which they've been here at Be Smart. I would like to acknowledge Level 3 Darnley and her team of agents. They are here every day ensuring that instruction is taking place in a safe and secure environment. Mrs. Gale and Mrs. Denise and the entire team of professionals that work in the cafeteria. Every day, they provide us with the best free in Bushwick. I also want to acknowledge the work of Mr. Ferrer and his entire custodial team for the tireless work they put into getting this building ready for instruction for the 4 schools on this campus every day. I would like to thank my PA President, Ms. Torres, and her executive board for all of the support they have given me this year, as well as a huge shout out to my parent coordinator, Ms. Martinez. I would like to acknowledge and thank all the Be Smart faculty and staff for all the work they have done to make this day happen. A special thank you to Ms. German and Shadira for making this production a reality. It goes without saying, I would not be able to do this work without the efforts of my administrative team. Mrs. Jacqueline Jarvis Squire, Mr. David Hobgood, and Ms. Deanna Torres. Thank you. And last but never least, please give a virtual round of applause to the person who keeps the train on the tracks and who always has all the answers to everyone's questions, Ms. Stacy Morrison. I appreciate all of you for keeping my name on the letterhead. I know we have all heard the phrase, history repeats itself. Well, never in my lifetime can I recall a year that has resembled so many other years when watershed events have taken place. The beginning of 2020, when we lost Kobe Bryant, felt like the end of 1972, when another iconic sports star, Roberto Clemente, was tragically lost in an aircraft disaster. 2020 also started to resemble 1992, when we witnessed the impeachment hearings of a sitting president. 2 months later, 2020 began to look like 1918 as it endured its first pandemic since the Spanish flu ravaged the planet over a century ago. Consequently, 2020 began to feel a little like 1929, with the massive unemployment suffered at the start of the Great Depression. Today, nearly 40 million Americans are out of work and food banks have become the norm. But before you could blink, 2020 began to feel like 1955, when a country was outraged by the senseless lynching of a 14-year-old boy named Emmett Till, as the world now tries to process the senseless murder of George Floyd under the knee of a police officer for 8 minutes and 46 seconds. Subsequently, it's no wonder that 2020 now feels like 1968, with civil unrest and protests sweeping not only the country, but the globe, with a presidential election hanging in the shadows. Yes, we expect history to sometimes repeat itself, just not all in the same year. The scary part about 2020 is that we still have half a year to go. So what next? Well, I want you to consider an old Chinese proverb that goes something like this. There was a farmer and his son that owned a beloved horse, and the horse that helped the family make a living. One day the horse ran away, and the neighbors ran and raced to the farmer and shared with him, "Oh, your horse has run away. What terrible luck that you had." To which the farmer replied, "Maybe so, maybe not. We'll see." A few days later, the horse returned, and the horse returned with several more horses. At this time, the neighbors ran to the farmer and they said, "Wow, your horse has returned, and he has returned with more horses. You are so lucky, you're so fortunate. What such good luck that you have." To which the farmer looked and simply said, "Maybe so, maybe not. We'll see." Subsequently, the farmer gave one of the new horses to his son. The son rode one of the horses, and on the day that he rode the horse threw the son to the ground. The son broke his leg, and as he laid on the ground writhing in pain, his neighbors ran to the farmer and said, "Oh my, your son has broken his leg, falling from one of the horses. What such bad luck that you had. This is such unfortunate luck." To which the farmer said, "Maybe so, maybe not. We'll see." A few weeks later, the National Army came to the town as the country was on the verge of war, and they came and recruited all the able-bodied boys to come fight in a war with a neighboring country. Because his son had broken his leg riding the horse, he was not one of the sons recruited for the harsh war to come. The neighbors raced to the farmer and said, "Wow, you're so lucky that your son did not get recruited. He will not be able to fight. What luck that you had." To which the farmer simply said, "Maybe so, maybe not. We'll see." The point of it all, my scholars, if the world now feels like it's completely out of control and worse days are ahead, maybe it is. Maybe it's not. We'll see. If now feels like the worst possible time to be heading off to college or trying to find a good job, now maybe it is the time. Maybe it's not. We'll see. If you feel like things are so bad right now that they can't possibly get worse, hopefully you're right. Maybe you're not. But we'll see. How you cope with adversity or good fortune is how you view circumstances. Graduates, leave Be Smart, not fearing tomorrow, because tomorrow is uncertain and you have no control over what is unknown and uncertain. Leave here today knowing that the only thing that is certain is uncertainty. And that's okay, because you don't run from uncertainty, you learn to live with it. And one day, hopefully, you learn to embrace it. Leave here asking the open question: Has your time here at Be Smart prepared you for the challenges of tomorrow? Maybe so, maybe not. We'll see. It has been an honor and a privilege to be your principal. From the bottom of my heart, I thank you. Here's to the class of 2020. We salute you.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Ms. Deanna Torres, Assistant Principal here at the Brooklyn School for Math and Research. I'm going to now introduce our commencement speaker for the class of 2020, Ms. Crystal Bob Semple, who is the CEO and founder of Plato Learning, the company behind the exuberant literacy summer programs Camp Half-Blood and the Double Daring Camp for Girls. Plato Learning transforms classic stories into play-based explorations of history, conflict, morality, and character development through a unique platform that helps kids develop social courage. Since 2010, her company has established itself as one of the foremost enrichment programs in Brooklyn for kids ages 6 to 14 years old. She is working to enlarge the company's footprint through New York City with the ultimate vision of extending its model across the nation. Bob Semple has been a community leader for nearly 2 decades. In addition to owning and operating Brownstone Books, she has been active in developing businesses and civic organizations that have evolved the educational landscape and bolstered efforts to bring industry to Brooklyn. She sits on the board of the Brooklyn Navy Yard Development Corporation, co-founded the Brooklyn Brownstone School and Stuyvesant Heights Parent Association, and produces The Word of Mom, a yearly forum for independent private school admissions directors to connect with families in Central Brooklyn. Bob Semple is currently pursuing a doctorate in educational and organizational leadership at the University of Pennsylvania Graduate School of Education, where she is researching progressive education teaching practice in communities of color. She resides in Bed-Stuy with her husband and 2 children, and currently has been elected to the Board of Trustees of St. Anne's School in Brooklyn. Please join me in welcoming our commencement speaker, Ms. Crystal Bob Semple.
In 1943, an 18-year-old named Malcolm tried to join the United States Army. When he said to the draft board, "I want to fight against America, not for America," he was deemed unfit for military service. Malcolm would spend the next 10 years fighting both internal and external demons before transforming into the iconic leader the world knows as Malcolm X, El-Hajj Malik al-Shabazz. At 19, Katherine Johnson was a pregnant wife. She was also the smartest person in any room she entered. Her intellect would eventually take her to NASA, where she developed mathematical equations that would take this country to the moon. Decades later, a visionary filmmaker would tell her story, and Katherine would finally get her due. At age 97, President Obama awarded her the Presidential Medal of Freedom, this country's highest honor. The point is this, class of 2020. Between the ages of 18 and 25, your whole world will change. For some of you, that change will feel like a coming together. For others, it will feel like things are being torn apart. Here's what I want you to remember, class of 2020. As the African proverb says, we make the path by walking. Dahlia, Tamira, Justin, Nathaniel, Kimberlyn, Melissa, Geraldine, and Jonah. Peyton, Deja, Ann and Tyrese, Juan, and Jalen. We need you to walk. We need all of you graduates to walk. We need you to walk onto the campuses of St. John's, BMCC, and Franklin and Marshall. When you show up to New York City Tech, Hamilton, Queens, and Brooklyn College, when the doors of Lehman College, City College, the University of Buffalo, Hunter, and Penn State have been opened to you, we need you to walk through those doors and ask one question when you're on the other side. How does who and what I am matter here? As you engage with the curriculum, as you listen and learn from your professors, as you take on leadership roles in student government and student affairs, demand that these spaces honor your identity, your history, and your culture. We need you at the table setting the agenda, setting the tone so that students who come after you will have experiences that you could only have dreamed of. And remember, like Herman Baca, Opal Tometi, and Tamika Mallory, always leave a path for those coming behind you to follow. When you walk in your strength, in your power, when you demand answers of people and institutions and government, you, class of 2020, will start to see and be seen. And once your story comes into focus, no one can deny your existence. No one can deny you belong. We need you to walk onto those campuses and test theories of equity and inclusion everywhere you go. Look around and ask, does my life matter as much as that man or the next woman's? What if my gender is neutral or non-conforming? How about as a first generation or low-income student? Does the classroom, work study, dorm life, social life honor me and my identity? And if the answer is no, we need you to be smart, to use what you've learned here from Dr. Rainey and your teachers and peers at the Brooklyn High School for Math and Research. Start by identifying the problem. Seek out additional knowledge to refine your understanding of the situation, and then test some theories. Test some old ones and see if you can come up with some new ones. See if those hold water. Keep working until what you believe to be true is true across different contexts. Then use your voice to communicate what you have learned. By virtue of this work, others will join you in your call for justice. Eric Garner's encounter with the police in 2014 began with him speaking back to the harassment that had become all too common for him on the streets of Staten Island. He said, "This ends today." Minutes later, we hear his last words, "I can't breathe." George Floyd said it too, "I can't breathe." Neither knew that their last words would become the rallying cry for a worldwide movement for peace and justice. We reclaim these words of our recent ancestors, and we use them as weapons to fight back, to fight for the change that we need to see in the world. None of the people I talked about today set out to change the world. They set out to change themselves. And in so doing, they transformed their lives and ours. That's your job, class of 2020. Tell your story, stand in its truth, make your path by walking. And whatever you do, wherever you go, don't forget about Brooklyn.
First, I'd like to say thank you to all the teachers, classmates, friends, and family members for joining us today. You know, when I first found out that I was salutatorian, I actually acted dumb for 2 minutes. Sorry, Miss Monster. I then chose to tell my parents about this amazing achievement that I had unsuspectingly accomplished. Turns out that was my biggest mistake. My mom took this as an opportunity to tell everyone, when I say everyone, I mean everyone, what I had achieved, and she was even being praised for me achieving this. I was even beginning to get strange calls from random phone numbers from family members regarding what I had done, regardless of where I was or what I was doing. Like many of you, I was looking forward to crossing the stage that would have marked the greatest milestone that we as a class set out to achieve 4 years ago. Unfortunately, this year had a lot of unforeseen plans that we did not see coming. Although we may have not had a prom or a physical graduation, we can most definitely say that we were the first class to have a virtual graduation as a result of a pandemic. For the first time ever, we uttered the words, "We miss school," not because we missed it, but because we missed the time we spent with each other. We may have not gotten a chance to say our proper goodbyes, but I want each and every one of you to remember that we are 2020 vision. Yes, we will make mistakes as we move on into our new lives and our new school again. But only by making mistakes can we truly reach our goals and achieve our goals. We can never predict what life has planned for us, so go out there whenever this coronavirus pandemic is over and find ways to overcome what they say is impossible to climb. You might just find that something will help you accomplish your dreams.
I keep fighting voices in my mind that say I'm not enough. Every single lie that tells me I will never measure up. Am I more than just the sum of every high and every low? Remind me once again just who I am, because I need to know. Ooh, oh, you say I'm loved when I can't feel a thing. You say I'm strong when I think I'm weak. And you say I am held when I am falling short. And when I don't belong, oh, you say I am yours. And I believe, oh, I believe what you say of me. I believe the only thing that matters now is everything you think of me. In you I find my worth, in you I find my identity. Ooh, oh, you say I'm loved when I can't feel a thing. You say I'm strong when I think I'm weak. And you say I am held when I am falling short. When I don't belong, oh, you say I am yours. And I believe, oh, I believe what you say of me. Oh, I believe. Taking all I have and now I'm laying it at your feet. You'll have every failure, God. You'll have every victory.
That was beautiful. Next, we will be joined by Miss Mondesi, our school counselor, who will be presenting the seniors with their awards.
It gives me great pleasure and it is such an honor to be presenting the Class of 2020 awards for the Brooklyn School of Math and Research. The first award is the Be Smart Resilience Award, and this award goes to Juan Pena. The second award, or the next series of awards, is from the Brooklyn Borough President, Eric L. Adams. The first Brooklyn Borough President Award for academic excellence goes to Nabin Touare. The second award, the Brooklyn Borough President I Am Possible Award for Most Improved, goes to Kimberlyn Bisando Orgando. The third award, Brooklyn Borough President Brooklyn 1 Award, goes to Shadera Uwakwe. Next are the Chancellor's Honor Roll Awards. The first award for Chancellor's Honor Roll Citation and Scholarship goes to Nabin Touare. The Chancellor's Honor Roll Citation Award for Attendance goes to Jalea Scott. The Chancellor's Honor Roll Citation Award for Leadership goes to Mariam Diallo. The Chancellor's Honor Roll Citation for Art goes to Onique Darian. The Chancellor's Honor Roll Award for Sports goes to Kaya Cheneyfield. the Chancellor's Honor Roll Citation Hackett Certificate for excellence and greatest proficiency in oratory, either verse or prose, goes to Sarduni Constant. Congratulations.
Next, we will be hearing from Shadira Uwakwe, who will be giving the student address for the class of 2020.
Greetings, everyone. My name is Shadira Uwakwe, and it is my pleasure to welcome all the graduates, families, teachers, and faculty to this wonderful graduation ceremony that we probably would have never imagined having virtually. It is an honor to be here today to reflect on the 4 years of legacy and memories that we've all created together. If someone would have told me that March 13th would have been our last day together at B-Smart, I wouldn't have believed it. Like many of you, I was looking forward to an amazing year with senior activities such as Senior Ditch Day, Senior Brunch, Prom, Decision Day, and graduation. The one thing, however, that I'm grateful for is that most of us were able to experience Senior Trip. The memories created during those 3 days together were ones that I would forever cherish. Although faced with an outbreak, racial injustice everywhere, it's no small fact that despite it all, we still made it. We are a generation of change. We faced the unprecedented and quickly adapted to not lose sight of the fact that this is still our year. Yes, we may have lost a lot of time, but in the words of author Kilroy J. Oldstore, I'm gonna read it, the whole of eternity is present now. We apprehend eternity through our senses and mental imagination. We can never recapture lost time. Memory allows us to taste the experience of living by recollecting our past in a series of personal events. Writing our personal story calls for us to remember what it feels like to live. Needless to say, we are at the point of our lives where we hold the pen to a new chapter. Like many of you, I remember chapter 1. Walking into a building on a hot sunny day in 2016 down the purple and yellow hallways to find what class I was supposed to be in. I'm one of those freshmen who was late the first day. I remember walking into class, dumbfounded and scared, to see Miss Soraya, whom I mistaken as a rebellious student because she wasn't wearing uniform. But the reality hit when she immediately asked me why I was late, and all of a sudden the whole class stared. In a class filled with strangers and where I stood there shaken and scared is now a class that I'm able to call family. A family that I will forever cherish. It's quite difficult to summarize 4 years in a speech that I hope is short, but I will forever miss being told that my sneakers weren't completely black, putting my phone into a yonder pouch, bothering Miss Jang and Mr. Fafana to fix my grades, sneaking upstairs to the gym during lunchtime and hiding from Mr. D and Miss Jarvis, running to the lunch line feeling like a VIP because we had our D bars, the frustration from when Miss Lee would take off a point in Chinese class, bumping to our fellow classmates' music, bothering Mr. Lau and Mr. Chen, fun history classes with Mr. Rodriguez and Mr. Scott, buying snacks from Miss Matron and avoiding her funny complaints, hearing Miss Cole's wonderful voice during our annual cultural night, heading to basketball games to support our fellow players while Miss Soraya shouted at us to show some school spirit, creating films for ELA and listening to Mr. Hopgood's stories, convincing Miss G that our work was indeed a masterpiece, annoying Miss German and Miss Dervin, wondering why Mr. Arroyo was never seen upset, blasting music to annoy Miss Mondesir during study hall, you know who you are, being welcomed by Mr. Negroni, Miss Torres, and Dr. Rainey when walking into the building, Advid with Miss Simmons, giving your name to Miss Morrison, getting detention from Mr. P for saying the equivalent of be quiet, the class jokes made with many, or listening to Tamira's daily share of do now stories. These are just a few of the memories among many that I will forever miss. It was in this building that I met talented, creative individuals and made long-lasting friendships. The laughter and jokes made are unparalleled, and I am grateful to have met all of you. Now we are heading into different branches of life. For that may be college, the work field, or whatever post-secondary plan you wish to pursue. But always remember that a crisis cannot shape the worth of our achievements. And with that being said, congratulations!
Our very own Assistant Principal, Ms. Jarvis Squire, will now be giving the faculty address.
Congratulations, class of 2020. Over the last 4 years, your administrators, teachers, guidance counselors, and support staff purposed to provide you with an education that would equip you to make a meaningful contribution to our world. We taught you to take risks, to take responsibility for your actions. We taught you to admit your mistakes and learn from them, to be confident without being arrogant, to be respectful, to disagree without being disagreeable, to be an advocate for yourself and those who cannot. We taught you to help those in need, to be honest, to be reliable, and to be kind. In essence, to be the best version of yourselves. Equally important, class of 2020, is what you taught us. You taught us that we needed to engage you, or you would engage the rest of the class. You taught us how to come to work with amnesia after we've been told off the day before. You taught us to stay up all night just in case you had a question about an assignment that was already overdue. You taught us that there was no better time to grab a bacon, egg, and cheese and iced coffee than during first period. You taught us the art of playing music from a cell phone that is turned off and locked away in a secure pouch. You taught us that the 3-minute hallway passing time does not apply to everyone. You taught us to call at night if we needed to reach your parents or guardians, and not your impersonation of them. You taught us how to sense when you were dealing with a personal issue, or when not to solicit your contribution during the lesson. In other words, you taught us how to be psychic. But you taught us to be consistent and nurturing. You taught us that the term, "you're doing too much," was actually a term of respect. You taught us that we are essential workers, and we can only claim success if you are successful. Today, you move on to the next phase of your lives with a new awareness as you experience the events that are unfolding in the world around you. I challenge you to be the agents of change. Take the risk, cross the line, be the organism that is comfortably uncomfortable. Be intentional. Determine your niche. Your contribution is vital. Go forth with confidence, class of 2020. Influence your ecosystem and the world at large. The time is now. The time is now.
Class of 2020, we made it. After 4 years of missing assignments, pop quizzes, and trying to turn in Miss Jing's Delta Math homework in on time, we finally made it. Now before I continue, I would like to hand out a few words of appreciation. First and foremost, I would like to thank my parents for their sheer determination and their continuous belief in me and providing me with the assets and materials to succeed. I would also like to thank Dr. Rainey and his initiation to make sure every student counts and matters, and for being the principal of the school, which is really not an easy job. Honestly, being a leader of anything isn't easy. However, he did it, and he did quite a good job, and I am grateful and honored to call him my principal. I would like to thank my teachers, those who were with me from the start, and my guidance counselors, Ms. Torres from 9th grade to 11th grade, and Ms. Mondesir during my senior year. I also commend Ms. Soraya, who in 10th grade took her time to help us with the chemistry prep for the Regents. Last but not least in my thank you list would be my friends who made senior year the utmost enjoyable. Shadera, Miriam, Onique, Dionvie, Kaya, Jalea, Amran, Lali, and countless others who have given me laughs and giggles. Despite past differences, we made it past the barrier and overcome, and that I'm grateful for. Now I can't say it's been an easy road. It hasn't. Nor can I promise the rest of the way will be easy. What I can say, however, is that the road we are all on is very, and I mean very possible to ride. Obstacles will come our way. Situations which makes the hair on our backs stand up. Now, imagine the past 4 years and unbox a memory which made you almost give up on your high school experience. Think about how frustrated it made you. Was it a class you failed, or a student you had quote-unquote beef with, or even a crazy ex? Whatever it may be, think about what got you through those tough times. Was it a favorite song, a teacher, a friend? It's relieving to know that despite the hardships, we will always pull through. And that is what we did freshman, sophomore, junior, and senior year. Senior year was a year of transition into college. The first half we spent immersed into SATs, college applications, and countless other turning in work on time. And the second half, we enjoyed ourselves on the senior trip, screaming, laughing, and having fun. That may have been one of the last few memories we had together this year, but it was all worth it. Now, fellow seniors, we may have ended this year prematurely, and we may not be together to enjoy this wonderful ceremony, but we made it, and safely. When you think about the last 4 years, you'll probably remember that your greatest lesson came from outside the classroom. It's a good reminder that learning does not stop just because you received a diploma. Dear class of 2020, we are now adults. We may not have been able to physically graduate together, but remember, the real graduation is not the ceremony, which happens in a 95-degree auditorium, but the process and transition in our hearts from high school students to college freshmen. And with that 2020, I leave you with a word and message. These 4 years have been difficult, I know. But the fact that we're able to overcome these struggles and be here together, even if we're not together physically, but in our mindsets, to go on into our endeavors in college, teaches us that we can overcome almost everything. And we're the class that graduated through a pandemic. Like, how cool and braggable is that? And class of 2020, good luck. And I love you all. Mwah.
They said you wouldn't make it so far, and ever since they said it, it's been hard. But never mind the night you had to cry, 'cause you had never let it go inside. You worked real hard and you know exactly what you want and need. So believe, and you can never give up. You can reach your goals. Just talk to your soul and say, I can, I will.
Greetings all. Dr. Rainey and the staff at Brooklyn School for Math and Research. And congratulations to the scholars graduating in the 2020 class from Brooklyn School for Math and Research. I am the project director for the Science and Technology Entry Program at Medgar Evers College. The purpose of the Science and Technology Entry Program is to provide support services to students in high school, to underrepresented minorities, specifically African American, Latinos, and for students that are economically disadvantaged. To support and help them as they pursue degrees in science, technology, engineering, math, health-related fields, and the licensed professions. You are about to enter into another phase of your educational endeavors, and it will be a little different challenge for you. However, you have been prepared well to meet that challenge. Be mindful to stay focused, to be resilient, listen, and to follow the directions of those that will be providing instructions to you. It has been our pleasure to work with the students and the staff at Brooklyn School for Math and Research, and today we would like to present to two scholars that have participated in the program 2 scholarships to assist them as they move into their freshman year at their respective colleges. So at this time, Mr. Randy Keeler, the Assistant Director, will make the presentation to those students. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Brown. The recipients of the Medgar Evers College Science and Technology Entry Program SIP Scholarship for the year 2020 are Mr. Peyton McCormack and Ms. Shadera Giff Uwakwe. Well done, guys. Congratulations.
There's a hero. If you look inside your heart, you don't have to be afraid of what you are. There's an answer if you reach inside your soul, and the sorrow that you know will melt away. And then a hero comes along with the strength to carry on, and you cast your fears aside, and you know you can survive. So when you feel like hope is gone, look inside you and be strong, and you finally see the truth, that a hero lies in you. It's a long road when you face the world alone. No one reaches out a hand for you to hold. You can find love if you search within yourself, and the emptiness you felt will disappear. And then a hero comes along with the strength to carry on, and you cast your fears aside, and you know you can survive. So when you feel like hope is gone, look inside you and be strong, and you'll finally see the truth, that a hero lies in you.
Denville Adams, Amrin Ahad, Kimberlyn Bisono Agondo, Melissa Cabas-Gango, Carmina Carbajal, Kaya Cheneyfield, Micaela Chavez, Shanae Clark, Serduni Constant, Justin Coyoto, Onique Darian, Miriam Diallo, Liasia Earth, Simon Evbompuan, Megan Fairhurst, Jordani Garcia, Justin Guzman, Geraldine Hiraldo, Tamara Jarvis, Kenton Jeremiah, David Lantigua, Nathaniel Laurent, Jonah Luke, Peyton McCormack, Dalen Mitchell, James Mitchell, Jalen Montgomery, Brian Munoz, Deja Nuogu, Anthony Ayola, Gabriela Perez, Juan Pina, Kevin Ramos, Sanika Reed, Alexandra Santiago, Jalea Scott, Kavan Sharp, Kimberly Sugrim, Luis Tavares, Nabin Tawari, Malik Torre, Shadera Gift Uwakwe, Christephanie Valdez, Zetlali Valencia, Dionvier Waterman Heath, Anthony Wilson, Tyrese Wiltshire, Estefany Ugachi, Nady Zanella, Jonathan Ortiz, Kenny Vergaz, Ishmael Wright, Diana Roman,
Cali,
was 7 years old, my mama told me, go make yourself some friends or you'll be lonely. Once I was 7 years old. It was a big, big world, but we thought we were bigger, pushing each other to the limits when we learning quicker. By 11, smoking urban, drinking, burning liquor. Never rich, so we were out to make that steady figure. Once I was 11 years old, my daddy told me, go get yourself a wife or you'll be lonely. Once I was 11 years old. Dream like my daddy before me, so I started writing songs, I started writing stories. Something about the glory just always seemed to bore me, cause only those I really love will ever really know me.
Soon I'll be 60 years old, my daddy got 61. Remember life and then your life becomes a better one. I made a man so happy when I wrote a letter once. I hope my children come and visit once or twice a month.
Soon I'll be 60 years old. Will I make the world is cold, or will I have a lot of children who can want me? Soon I'll be 60 years old.
Soon I'll be 60 years old. Or will I think the world is cold, or will I
have a lot of children who can want me? Soon I'll be 60 years old. There are days I wake up and I pinch myself. You're with me, not someone else. And I'm scared, yeah, I'm so scared that it's all a dream. Cause you still look perfect as days go by. Even the worst ones, you make me smile. I'd stop the world if it gave us time. Cause when you love someone, you open up your heart. When you love someone, you may grow. If you love someone and you're not afraid to lose them, you probably never loved someone like I do. You probably never loved someone like I do.
when you say
Why'd you have to leave so soon, yeah? Why'd you have to go? And why'd you have to leave me when I needed you the most? Cause I don't really know how to tell you without feeling much worse. I know you're in a better place, but it's always gonna hurt. Carry on, give me all the strength I need to carry on. Yeah, yeah. It's been a long day without you, my friend, and I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. Cause we've come a long way from where we began. Oh, I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. Right here for you till the day you're going home. Carry on and give me all the strength I need to carry on. Yeah, yeah. I see you again. 'Cause we've come a long